Hello everyone, and welcome to another Company Heroes 2 replay cast. My name is ATR, and today we're going to have a 1v1 on Moscow Outskirts. Spaced out a little bit there. Anyways, our heroes today are going to be MrJafooli. MrJafooli playing for the Soviets. And we have FurorTeutonicus, or Teutonics, playing for the Germans. So again, following on the very popular trend of very recent games, we see the German player FurorTeutonicus going for Ostrupen. Ostrupen. So 3 Ostrupens off the bat, third one hitting the field right now. We will see how many more he will get. And likewise, we see that Soviet players, like most do, are just getting themselves conscripts. We see 1 conscript on the field for MrJafooli, and the second one still being produced. It's going to take a little bit to get there. So, does look like there is a underlying strategy developing for most German players. You can see that FurorTeutonicus only built 3 Ostrupen and hasn't built anything else since. He has the manpower to build more, but he decided to go for tier 1 and get himself a Grenadier squad. So we've seen Ostrupen spam and getting a lot of them, but most people want to get only a couple of them to capture and then just get some fighting forces. So, very nice. We'll see how this works out for FurorTeutonicus. So anyways, the Ostrupen in the center of the map, just going around capping. Ostrupen Pioneers over here, and Ostrupen over here. Now we see the first engagement, conscripts engaging Ostrupen. Conscripts do Ura into the fuel point and will deny that capture to the Ostrupen. The Ostrupen decide to back away and get themselves into a little bit of light cover by those carts. The conscripts do a little bit more of a awesome maneuver and vault over the fence to get themselves some light cover while still denying the capturing of this point. The Ostrupen will actually end up losing this fight, and there we go, first casualty, 1 Ostrupen down. Another one should soon follow. And yeah, I don't think there's much they can do against these conscripts. Conscripts still just firing. We have seen a conscript die though. Where is his body? There he is. He fell over the fence and stabbed himself in the stomach. Anyways, Ostrupen squad down to 2 men, down to 1 actually, will have to retreat. It will make it out alive due to the fact that Grenadiers are now in the zone and will help out against this fight. And now the Grenadiers with a squad of softened conscripts will actually win this quite handily. They are still in cover because of this little box here, but they're not in the best of cover. But yeah, the conscripts are actually going to lose that fight against just 1 Grenadier. We see a second Grenadier squad on the field for Führer, and MrJafooli is now up to 4 conscripts. There is a second conscript squad moving up to the north to support this conscript squad. The conscript on the north is down to 3 men, but should be able to stay alive long enough. Down to 2 actually, so it's getting a little bit dicey. But the second conscript squad is now in the zone and is actually flanking that German squad, opening up on them. They actually move a little bit too far ahead and not get any shots. They do end up vaulting over the fence and are now right on top of that Grenadier squad. One of the conscripts does get executed at point blank range. German squad is now down to 3 men with the 2 other conscripts supporting, but there's a second Grenadier squad now in the zone, and this is now a losing fight for the conscripts. The conscripts at 2 men are going to retreat. This one is going to stay a little bit more until it loses more men to try to deny this fuel as long as it can. Left-hand side in the south, we do see conscripts also pushing away another Ostrupen squad down to 2 men, has to force it out of the field. We also saw a Pioneer squad get killed off, and I'm not sure if it's here, but yeah, we have lost the Pioneers for FurorTeutonicus. And finally, we see the conscript squad in the north retreating. They are getting a little bit battered by an LMG-42 on one of the Grenadier squads. And this other squad ended up losing only 1 man. A lot of health lost on them, though, but they do end up capturing that fuel. Likewise, down south, this conscript squad at 3 men will also be capturing the fuel, while these conscripts are still trying to run away from these infantry. Ostrupen's also taking some pot shots at them, but, well, Ostrupens can't really shoot. Combat engineers up north in the victory point are getting harassed by this LMG. They are going to lose that fight even though they are in heavy cover. And there they go, they retreat before taking too many losses. 1 more man hits the ground on the retreat, and the squad is down to 2 men. The Ostrupen try to shoot, but you know they can't really do much, and the combat engineers are fine. So we now see a transition by FurorTeutonicus. He is getting himself tier 2. Wait, no. Sorry, I thought that was tier 2. That's actually a bunker. Okay. So he's actually going to be getting himself a bunker, probably with medics, I would assume, since it's located in the base, to heal up his squads and, get all his units back in fighting order. In the meantime, we see conscripts pushing into the center. Pretty much the entirety of the map is now in possession of FurorTeutonicus. MrJafooli has been having a tough time of this. And the north is now going to get captured by those grenadiers, and the munitions point is going to get harassed by those Ostruppen. There's a conscript squad going to the munitions point, which is going to run into that Ostruppen, so the Ostruppen is actually going to lose that fight. Do we actually have Molotovs? We do have Molotovs for the Soviet forces, so the Ostruppens could actually die quite quickly if not kept an eye on. Ostruppens decide to jump into the house, and a Molotov is probably going to go down, although he Urad for some reason. Urad, remember, doesn't give you any bonuses as far as combat bonuses. It just gives you speed bonuses to run. Ostruppens do jump out of the house at the side of the Molotov, but they are still getting quite battered by those conscripts. The conscripts are in heavy cover, but they are in the wrong side of that heavy cover, so they're not really getting any benefit. The Ostruppens are in cover, getting the benefit of their combat bonus there, but they're still very weak. Still getting battered. Down to 2 men. Down to 1 probably by the time they retreat. Oh no, the worst retreat path. But the Grenadiers are there to support. Are they actually going to be able to make it out alive? Very lucky Ostruppen squad, although it is going to run straight into one conscript squad, which should actually be able to take it out. And shots go in, and down goes the Ostruppen. Left-hand side, down goes the conscript squad. Rifle nade by the Grenadiers actually does a lot of damage right there, and ends up only 1 man alive, and executes them with that LMG. So very unfortunate there for Jafooli. He did pick up 1 Ostruppen squad, which is a small amount of a victory, but the conscripts are way more valuable than those Ostruppen. Center of the map, we see conscripts just cutting off the map essentially on the left-hand side for FurorTeutonicus. Grenadiers with another LMG, so both squads actually now have LMGs. I'm not exactly quite fond of this for Jafooli. He is Uraying while in cover. Down to 1 man. Very nice rifle nade there by those Grenadiers. And this squad is actually making it alive quite luckily. But there is no point to Ura if you're not going to get to anywhere. I mean, I suppose a preemptive Ura is okay if you're going to plan on moving. But, for example, there he Ura'd and didn't move and actually took a rifle nade to the face. So, I mean, if he had Ura'd because he saw that the rifle nade was going to go off and ran, out of the way, that's fine. But Ura doesn't give you anything. It says there, battle cry shouted in unison motivates conscripts to move faster. Duration 10 seconds, infantry move at maximum speed. That's all it does. It doesn't give you any bonuses for suppression or armor or received accuracy. You actually lose firepower if your units are moving because they're actually going to run and not shoot as they're running. So, yeah, you shouldn't be Uraying just to Ura. I mean, it's fine to Ura, spam Ura if you're moving around, but yeah, just because you're in a fight, don't Ura. Anyways, we see a conscript squad sneaking around, decapping that fuel point in the north. At the same time, we have I want to call them Austere, but Austere is the faction. Ostruppen squad down south capturing that fuel as well. So still the majority of the map is in possession of MrJafooli. Not Jafooli, FurorTeutonicus. MrJafooli pretty much only has 3 sectors. He did build a fuel cache on the left-hand side, so that's going to allow him to have a decent amount of fuel income, even though he doesn't have those 2 points. But compared to the income that FurorTeutonicus is going to have, I mean, right now it's 35 to 13 income. So, yeah. Luckily, he is decapping this point. He's not going to get any benefit from it, but he's denying it to FurorTeutonicus. But, still has a lot more fuel than he does. So, again, you can see the conscripts Uraying when they're standing still. Ostruppen getting shot on the retreat. Down to 1 man. Very lucky to be alive, but I'm not going to criticize that much. But, yeah, one thing to keep in mind, Ura is great, and yeah, if you can use it, take advantage of it as often as you can, that's fine. But Uraying into a fight, or well, not Uraying into a fight, but Uraying in reaction to a fight, is not exactly the best use of that munitions. But oh well. See, he Uras right here, and that one almost worked. He almost moved it out of the way of the rifle nade, but he still caught it in the face, and now the Ura has ran out. I don't get it. I don't know. I'm not sure exactly what Jafooli thinks the Ura is doing, but I can safely say that it's not exactly the best use of it. Conscript squad in a lot of trouble, down to 1 man. Does hit retreat. The LMG Grenadiers do move out of the way of the flames, giving that conscript the opportunity to actually run away back home because the LMG cannot shoot on the move and needs to set up. We also see a artillery field officer for FurorTeutonicus being used a lot more commonly now because of the fact that it comes with that Ostruppen thing. The Ostruppen doctrine. Center of the map, we see a bunker that got laid down by FurorTeutonicus with an Ostrupen squad in there. It's a standard bunker, though. It's not a medic bunker for some reason. I mean, well, it's not a medic bunker nor an MG, it's just a standard bunker, which I guess is fine. It's the, oh, wait, no, that's a trench. Sorry, that's why. Oh, wait, never mind. Yeah, I forget that you actually have trenches. I actually haven't seen anybody use a trench ability in the in the previous games, even though we've seen a lot of austere. Nobody's actually used the trenches. And yeah, we see another trench right here in front. Conscripts are going to probably throw another Molotov right on top of it, although this one is in cooldown. And, I mean, he will out again, but I guess he ran into cover, which is fine. That's an excellent thing to do, actually. That's Molotov winds up, and there it goes. Grenadiers simply jump out of the trench and are now in the wrong side of heavy cover, but they are doing a lot of damage. Combat engineers back here are doing some very nice damage. Rifleman goes in right on top of the conscripts and down to 3 men. So these conscripts are going to lose that fight. Up north we see some capping, and further up north we see grenadiers and conscripts engaging. And these conscripts do jump into the flame-engulfed trench. The flames do die out just as soon as they get in there. So this is actually providing them some very nice defensive position here, and should also allow them to cap if I'm not mistaken. Grenadiers move to the correct side of the cover, and they now have themselves ooh, yeah. They have themselves heavy cover. Rifleman goes in again, and down to 1 man on that conscript squad. That conscript squad is taking a beating by that LMG, but the LMG now refocuses on the grenadiers. We hear Molotov go down by the conscripts on top of the grenadiers. Very nice damage going down on the grenadiers. One catches fire. A second one should probably follow suit. And even a third one, yeah, second one goes in, third one gets incinerated, and the last one is luckily right outside the flames, and it makes it out fine. Likewise, the 2 conscripts on this other squad make it out alive. Center of the map, I think the conscript squad actually did end up going down. Yeah, it did go down in the trench. Combat engineers took its place and got itself into that trench. Grenadiers are now going to move back and probably take positions in that other setup trench. So, very nice to see the trenches used. I hadn't actually had a chance to see them. Molotov going down by a conscript squad up north almost takes out an entire Ostrupen squad. Everybody burned alive inside that trench, and the conscript also makes it out alive at 1 man. Not exactly sure what was the strength of that conscript squad that it actually got itself down to 1 man, but, well, things happen. So anyways, we now have a tier 3 coming up for MrJafooli. He has a T-70 hitting the field right now. Also another conscript squad being produced. I don't agree exactly with the more conscripts, but I guess that's fine. He does have tier 1, so he could get himself some snipers, but to each his own. Or hell, even a penal battalion, you know, a little bit stronger units there. T-70 though, hitting the field is going to be very effective, especially against the Ostrupen. If it can catch this Ostrupen on the right-hand side out of position, it will do so much damage to it. Artillery field officer, again, another prime target for that T-70, and there it goes. The artillery field officer instantly retreats, so T-70 will probably only be able to get 1 kill, if any. Nope, actually only does a little bit of health damage, and is now going up to the north. We also see a conscript squad moving up to the north, finally using URA in the most efficient manner, just to cross a lot of distance quickly, and he's going to capture that fuel. Trench is set up in a nice position where you could actually, if I'm not mistaken, get your units in there and still cap the point. We'll strip it over here. Second T-70 on the field for MrJafooli. And FurorTeutonicus has gotten himself tier 3. So he... No, okay, he's going tier 4. Okay. Well, not exactly sure how I feel about that, but... So he got tier 2. And didn't produce anything out of tier 2. He got tier 3. Didn't produce anything out of tier 3. And now he's getting tier 4. I mean, I guess that gives you a lot of flexibility in what you want to get, but not entirely sure FurorTeutonicus understands that you don't need to build the actual building, you just need to research the upgrade at the base. This might be why MrJafooli has actually been able to stay in the game at this point. He did lose a lot of territory early on. He is himself down to 275 points, but he has managed to recover a lot of map control. Left-hand side, we see the T-70 is going to engage Grenadiers, and up north, a 1-man austere manages to make it out alive. It does Faust that T-70 before retreating, so luckily for it, it's going to be able to stay alive. Now, Grenadiers and Austere are on the wrong side where the T-70 wants them to be. And the T-70 is now moving closer to a conscript squad that it has in the zone to provide some support. We now see Doctrine for MrJafooli, and he'll probably get himself some shock troops. Faust goes off on that T-70, doing some nasty damage and the crit on the engine. Conscripts jump into the house to provide more firepower and support. We now have the artillery field officer retreating down to one man, very low in health. Grenadiers to throw another Faust at that T-70, doing some very good damage. And we actually see a Panther being produced for FurorTeutonicus. That is actually going to be quite painful for MrJafooli. These T-70s are not going to be able to stand against them. And we do see an LMG-42 getting dropped by those Grenadiers. This conscript squad is Vet 2. It's going to take a very nice weapon for themselves and feel so happy because with the increased accuracy and that LMG, they're going to be a baller squad. So at the present time, we now see basically the entirety of the map pretty much for the taking of MrJafooli. This T-70 is trying to run away because it has engine damage and has to get some repairs. But we now have that Panther on the field, and the Panther is going straight for the T-70 that it knew where it was. The conscripts are retreating after decapping that point. They are at 3 men, so they don't want to risk getting taken out. And center of the map, we have the conscripts. Oh, they actually have the repair kit with this doctrine. I forget what it's called. I didn't write it down. Sorry. But these conscripts actually managed to fully repair this T-70 over here, and we have the conscripts over here just taking place in that trench. Interesting. Now, one thing that I wanted to check. Nah, it's not the same. Okay. T-70 goes down to that Panther quite easily. The Panther is a very fast unit, and with the damaged engine, it wasn't going to be able to make it out of there. And we do see shock troops for MrJafooli hitting the field. They actually run themselves behind this fence to remain hidden from this Panther. And we now have a response of a T-34 for MrJafooli. It is only going to be able to keep it at bay, not exactly, you know, kill it, but, you know, not a bad choice, I suppose. Center of the map, second T-70 is now getting shot by that Panther. The Ostrupen do manage to get a Faust off on the T-70, damaging that engine, so the Panther should be able to do some very quick work of it. Another shot goes in, do some good damage, and the last shot should actually take it out of action. And there it goes, out of control, and it's gonna crash at some point. Yeah, the Panther's just gonna shoot it once again. Yeah, Panther can't actually wait for it to go out of control and ends up shooting it. Conscripts in the trench are getting battered by those LMGs, and down goes the conscript squad. So unfortunate loss there for MrJafooli. Up north, we see these conscripts fruitlessly trying to kill that fuel cache. They have brought it to about 50% health so far, but not going to do much. Wow, T-34 actually does a forward ram on the Panther and manages to actually penetrate and get that crit. So the T-34 and the Panther are now disabled. The Panther actually... Well, the Panther just has main engine damage. I mean, not main engine damage. Just has engine damage. It's not immobilized, so it could just back off out of there and make it back home. But, well, there are Pioneers nearby, and they're simply just going to repair that tank right in front of that T-34, and they're going to be fine. We do have the LMG-equipped Grenadiers coming up front, so those are going to be able to kill off that Pioneer squad if not careful. Second squad moving down, although that is a retreating conscripts. And up north we have a combat engineer running right in between those Grenadiers with LMGs. These combat engineers are actually going to die. They probably want to jump into that trench to maybe last a little bit longer, but that's not going to help them out that much. Conscripts down south are going to... Yeah, the Molotov goes down, and those are dead Pioneers. They try to retreat, and they actually do get out alive. There we go. And now finally Furor realizes, oh wait, I can actually move my tank. It's not disabled. So he does that, and the Panther is going to make it out of there. Panther notices that the conscripts are repairing the T-34, and he tries to move in, but he notices, oh wait, I don't have a gun. Ostrupen shooting those conscripts, repairing the tank. We have a Grenadier squad moving in to also deal with those conscripts, and another conscript squad moving up onto the field. Very nice usage there of his repairability by MrJafooli. I have to applaud that. It's very nice to see that being used. He almost got that T-34 up and running, and the Panther is still disabled. Second Panther being produced for FurorTeutonicus. At the same time, a second T-34 is now on the field for MrJafooli. It is coming up right now. Conscripts moving up to support the Vet 2 conscript squad, one thing to keep in mind, I doubt that Jafooli is going to do this. Remember that conscripts have that merge ability. You can use merge ability with other conscript squads. So since this is a Vet 2 one, you can just merge a vanilla one to the Vet 2 one and make sure that the stronger squad stays on the field. T-34 moves up against the Grenadiers and take a Faust to the face, so it's now damaged. The conscripts are now right on top of that T-34, and they're going to start the repairs, while Pioneers are also repairing the Panther. The second Panther is not yet on the field for FurorTeutonicus, so it'll take a couple extra seconds. And here comes the conscripts, and yeah, the Vet 2 conscript squad ends up retreating while the Vet 1 stays on the field. So yeah, that's something to keep in mind. You know, it's not used a lot. Probably, you know, one of those higher level plays that you can do a little bit more meta, I don't know how you call it, but yeah, keep in mind that you always have that merge ability. It's not only for weapon teams. So T-34 is now fully repaired, and there it goes, off against that. Oh my god. And it actually got deimmobilized. Oh my god, that is horrible news for FurorTeutonicus. T-34 once again goes for the ram and gets an immobilization on the Panther. The T-34 is also getting repaired by 2 conscript squads at the same time. Second Panther now on the field is opening up on the disabled T-34, trying to actually get the kill. The conscripts are trying desperately to repair it, but they're not going to be able to repair it in time. That Panther does a lot of damage. And the T-34 is moving up to the rear. Is it actually going to go for the ram? It looks like it's going for the ram. It looks like it's... No, it's just hitting the rear armor. Panther actually misses its shot. Oh, very nice shot by the T-34. Actually kills Pioneer Squad outright. Another shot by the Panther goes in, and that... Yes! Oh my god. So, another ram goes down by the T-34 and disables that Panther. So this Panther is boned. This T-34 is actually in a very good spot. The conscripts are uraying to get past it and probably go repair the other one. So they are going to throw an 18-8 trying to get as much damage as they can on that Panther, get it out of the field. Very lucky crits on those rams for MrJafooli. And all 3 conscript squads are going to go beast mode on the repairs on this T-34, and they can get it up and running so that it can actually shoot. T-34 over here still doing that. And this guy only has engine damage. Another mistake there by FurorTeutonicus. I believe he is not aware that this one isn't immobilized. He could just grab it and move it away. But he decides, you know what? This is bull. I'm gone. So, very nice victory there for MrJafooli. He was down on victory points and down pretty much everywhere else. I mean, his chalk troops did actually manage to do a lot of camping. Not a lot of fighting, though, but, you know, a lot of camping. And had recovered the map. But, yeah, this move right here was quite lucky for him, but, yeah, quite brave. So, Tier 3 taking out the Tier 4 Panthers. So anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the game. If you have any positive or negative remarks, go ahead and leave them in the comment section below. If you have any replays you want to send me, go ahead and send them to the email that I will put in the description below. But otherwise, I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next time.